Welcome to a completely new video that I've never done before. A video that I wanted to do back in 2022, the beginning of 2023, didn't have time to. Now I finally found time to finally make this video, which I really wanted to do. I am going to rank every one of my favorite bands' 2023 albums that they released. Wanted to do this back in 2022 when I got my second channel. Like I said, I didn't have a chance to. Now that I do, I got a couple of them right here. Motionless in White, Beartooth, Theory of a Dead Man right there. But with that said, we got 8 albums to rank. If you're wondering how you're going to talk about music, you always talk about movies, football stuff. It's all also on my second channel, obviously. But nor ZMZ, go subscribe to my main channel, Zachary Movie Chat. But yeah, just let me know what's your ranking of all the albums that you have done. Tell me down below, how did I do? First time ever talking about music on this channel. Point of reference, these are just music artists that I listen to, that I personally listen to all the time. Albums based on my personal reference. These aren't just like the big albums that everybody knows. I'm not going to include Taylor Swift or Dua Lipa or anybody on this list because I don't listen to them. I listen to rock and roll metal. I don't have Metallica's new album on this one. I never got to listen to that. Kept trying to. I just never got around to it. Metallica is something that I'd listen to with like my dad or something. But it's not really a band that I listen to by myself. But anyways, let's get started with my 8 2023 albums that I have listened to this year. Starting with number 8, and this one breaks my heart. Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream. Avenged Sevenfold is an awesome band. They are flat out awesome. Their name album, Avenged Sevenfold, and Nightmare, and all their other albums, classic albums. I will listen to these albums all the time. In fact, I listen to Nightmare and their named album every single week. Mostly listen to a lot of the songs every single day. That's how much I think those albums are classic. I went into this one really hyped to listen to it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I never finished listening to the album. I could only stand a couple songs. There's only 2 songs. They're Life is But a Dream, and not Life is But a Dream, but I forget what it's called. Dang, what is it called? I gotta look that up. The other one is... Heck, what is the other one? Let me look up Avenged Sevenfold real quick, because I'm a little concerned with that. Nobody, that's what it's called. Nobody and We Love You. Kind of like Game Over sometimes. But I just could never fully get into this album. I feel like it's too techno for me. Kind of like not feeling like classic Sevenfold. I feel like it'd be better if Sevenfold made an album where it's like, this is some more awesome music from this band that I love. That's just, I respect it. I respect that they try to do something new and original with it. But for me, I'd much rather just listen to plain rock and roll that is just basic and awesome instead of just some weird mixtape, weird stuff that they put out this year. Easily for me, my least favorite. In 7th place, Motionless in White, Scoring the End of the World. This is one because I personally keep forgetting it exists. I listened to it a couple times. I liked it. Planned on re-listening to it on my 8-hour trip to Atlanta that I took a couple days ago. I never got around to it because I can't remember it exists. I didn't even have it on the notes until I went over there to my shelf where all my movies and music and stuff are at. And I saw it sitting there, and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta write this in. I gotta write the notes real quick before I sit down to film this video. That's exactly what I did. There's some good songs here. I really like Sign of Life. There's another song. Again, I have to look it up because I'm stupid. Down, I like that. Sign of Life. Masterpiece. There's a bunch of good songs here. I just keep forgetting it exists. And a bunch of these albums on this list, I never forget they exist. And that I will listen to quite often instead of just listening to Motionless in White because I keep forgetting this. Also, Falling in Reverse is one of my favorite bands. I love Falling in Reverse, and they kind of have a rivalry, and I kind of take Falling in Reverse aside. So I also don't listen to Motionless in White as much because I listen to Falling in Reverse that much, but that's another thing. But number 6, Beartooth, The Surface. So right here, my favorite band of all time. I have all their albums, finally got all their albums. I love all of their albums. I think they are all masterpieces. They are all awesome and hype. And this is a band that writes some of the most deepest lyrics that kind of relate to me. And I think it is really, really good. This one for me, I've listened to it numerous occasions. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I want to listen to their new album. So I will, and I do think there's a lot of good songs. These singles that they have been putting out this past year before the release of this, I think are really good. The easily highlight of this album, Riptide, Love Myself, I think all those are songs that I think are really solid. Thing with this one is with Beartooth, I would much rather listen to any other one of their albums than this one. I will, except maybe Disgusting. Maybe I'll listen to this one over Disgusting. But I'll sit down, and if someone's like, hey, want to listen to Beartooth? What album? I'll say, I forget what the albums are called. I always consider them the orange one and the purple one. But I'll always listen to Disease or what's the other one called? I'll just always listen to the other albums. I'll never choose to listen to the Surface album. And even though I think it's a pretty solid Blow is the other one, by the way. Even though I think it's a pretty solid album, I still feel like I'd much rather listen to all of other Beartooths, and I feel like they've made better work. Still like this one. I still listen to it, but if you walked up to me and said, hey, want to listen to Beartooth, I would never pick this specific album to listen to. Number 5, Blink-182, One More Time. I think that I love a bunch of songs in this one. One More Time, the title song of this, is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the most emotional songs that I really, really dig it. Anthem Part 3, Edging, Dance With Me. There's so many good songs. Bad News is one that goes under the radar a lot that I really have been listening to a lot. This is an album that I think is really solid. The problem with this album specifically is that it has way too many songs. If you have way too many songs, that a lot of them are like under a minute, a lot of them are over a minute, it's kind of hard to listen to this album and be like, this song sticks out, or this song is unique, because a lot of it is also just kind of the same thing. In a way, it's just kind of the same music. It just punk rock. And the thing is that there's just so many songs that are just under a minute and all that it's just kind of hard. If somebody's like, hey, you know this song? I'd be like, no, what's that? And they play it, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds familiar, but I don't personally know it because there's too many albums in the song. When you got good songs, this is Blink-182, it's really good. I listen to the great songs in this one quite a bit. But too many songs means that the album kind of gets jumbled, and I'd always pick my songs out of it. I never fully listen to the full album in and of itself. Number 4, Godsmack, Light Up the Sky. Godsmack is a band that I don't listen to that often. I wouldn't even consider them being my favorite band, one of my favorite bands. But I'd listen to them. Told myself I was going to listen to this album. I sat down and I was like, this is actually really good. People have this on their worst of the year on the albums. No, this is one of my favorites of the year. This is an album that a lot of songs, sure, they sound the same, but a lot of songs are also good, and I will listen to this one a lot while I am working out. Even like the slow song Truth, or Trust, or whatever. I think it is a very good song, and kind of just throws you off from the workout, that it just can be good, but can also be kind of like hyping you up just a little bit. I feel like this is just a really good album, and for Godsmack, kind of just hits the vibe. You go in wanting to listen to a kind of metalish vibe with some, not really screamo, but like heavy instruments. Kind of got exactly what I wanted from this one. 3, Story of the Year, Tear Me to Pieces. This one's unique because it came out right around the time that my grandpa died. And a lot of songs in here is about loss. And when I listened to it, I was kind of like, this kind of hits the mark. Don't know why I said kind of hits, but I really like this album. I will listen to this one quite a bit. A lot of the songs are great from beginning to end. I just really dig the album. First 4 songs I think are really good. Then you get 2005, and they get the songs. They're kind of just a little under the radar. You don't really get these songs when you're listening on your Spotify mix. But when you listen to the end of them, it's just all around a really good album. It's got the emo songs. It's got the metal songs. It's got the mellow, slow songs. And I think it's just an evenly paced out album that when I listen to it, I'm like, this is solid. This is a really solid and entertaining album to listen to, that it kind of just gets me little emotional when I listen to it because of my grandpa. But I really like that one. These next two right here are identically, I will flip back and forth. These next 2 albums are 2 of my favorite albums of this year. It doesn't really matter the way that they're put in, just the way that I will talk about them here. I think that they are they are both really, really good albums. Also, in case you can't tell, 2023 hasn't had as many great albums as there has been in 2022. 2022 would have been an awesome video to talk about albums, but I didn't because I ran out of time. But these albums right here, these two, are just the only two that I would say that are 10 out of 10 really great albums that I will listen to any day of the week. Number 2, Theory of a Deadman, Dinosaur. I didn't know about this band until my dad took me to the Theory of a Deadman Skillet St. Ansonia concert, and I really dug them. I really dug Theory of a Deadman, so the moment the album released, kind of just listened to it. And I feel like it's an album that just meshes perfectly. You get the fast songs, you get the slow songs, you just get, it's kind of more like a pop-punk vibe than it's pop-punk country vibe, to where you're listening to it and it's not like super fast-paced. It's kind of just mellow and you're enjoying yourself listening to it. And for some reason, I don't know how to describe this, but it flows super nice. The flow that it gives you is just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm kind of vibing with this one. You're vibing with the album. It's just kind of a vibe album to where you're sitting down, you're not like, oh, there's songs that just get you hyped up, you want to get up and just start working out. There's not like songs that are like, this wants to make you cry. It's just kind of a nice flow of entertaining, mellow songs that I can listen to on almost any occasion. I, hands down, think that Theory of a Deadman, Dinosaur is such a really good album. It proves, again, Theory of a Deadman is a really good band. But number 1, and I decided to officially put this one at number 1 because this is a band that the last couple albums were really disappointments. I didn't think that this one would be any good. I went into this one and I was like, probably not going to get 5 songs in. I'm probably not going to like this one at all. And I listened to the whole album, and I listened to the album quite often. It's Escape the Fate, Out of the Shadows. I was hands down shocked. The last 2 albums went more of kind of like a pop vibe, which is not what Escape the Fate is. Escape the Fate is a pop-punk metal vibe, where you're kind of just like hyped the whole time. The last 2 ones were just like, kind of remind me of something that teenage girls would listen to just a little bit. Didn't fully get me hyped. I never liked those last 2 albums. So going into this one, I'm like, I really hope it doesn't get this. And it goes back to the War Is Ours vibes, or the Hate Me vibes, or all those albums that are just really good and define Escape the Fate. I feel like it just went back to those vibes and doesn't feel like, okay, yeah, we gotta drag this one. This is an album that just, the whole time, they just get banger song after banger song after banger song that I will listen to all these songs every day. This is my favorite album of the year. It's one of my new favorite Escape the Fate albums. I don't think it personally hits just like all the old albums they do, but I feel like there's so many great songs that hit so hard in this album that it has to be number 1 on this list. What did you guys think of my first ever album ranking? Do you guys want to see this every year? I want to know all that and more. Should I? I don't know if I should, but should I come back and rank the albums of 2022 as one of the best year of metal albums in my opinion? Should I do that? I still listen to those albums daily basis that came out last year, my top 5 favorite. I want to know all that and more. And with that said, what's your ranking of your favorite band's albums? It doesn't matter what bands. You can rank any band or any artist or anything, the albums. With that said, thank you guys for clicking on this one. And with that said, subscribe. Join the Nerd Army. Peace out.